Hi guys, today I wanted to discuss about as to why you have to study biology. What is the purpose of studying biology? Biology is a branch of science which deals with the study of living organism. It includes flora, fauna, and the microorganisms. So all the living organisms are studied under biology. So now, if you are going to look into living organisms, what is life? If you take a definition of it, there can be two definitions. One is from the viewpoint of science and another is a philosophical definition. So from the viewpoint of science, life is a dynamic system of coordinated physical, chemical and biological characteristics, which is physically represented by the protoplasm. So that is the reason we also call protoplasm as physical basis of life. So I again repeat, life is a dynamic system of, dynamic implies something which cannot be changed, which is constantly under change and which is not static. So life is a dynamic, something which is constantly changing, dynamic system of coordinated, it's a teamwork of physical, chemical and biological characteristics. So it's a teamwork of all these three domains which is physically represented by the protoplasm. If you look into the definition of protoplasm, protoplasm is cytoplasm plus nucleus. Cytoplasm and nucleus together we call it as protoplasm. So life is a dynamic system of coordinated physical, chemical and biological characteristics which is physically represented by protoplasm. This is one of the definitions. There is also another definition where they define life as an interaction between the slave master, the DNA, and the slave, the RNA molecule. So almost it is at the level of molecular biology, they are describing it as life. If you look into the philosophical definition of life, so most of them call it as life is a journey between birth and death, and there are various philosophical definitions of life. The purpose of life is searched in the philosophical definition, whereas the objective definition of life is done in the scientific explanation of life. So biology is majorly focused on studying these living organisms, knowing about ourselves and our surroundings for a better understanding and to improve our quality of lifestyle. So that is one aspect of it. Another aspect, if you look into it, is when you are studying biology, you become more refined and civilized. There are a lot of questions that we have a controversy on, conflict on, which can all be easily defined by biology. Provided you have a scientific bent of mind, the answers are available. Now there is always a question that whether fungi is a plant or an animal. Then there is a question like vegetarians, they don't kill life, non-vegetarians, they kill life. So all these different aspects are there. There are myths as well as reality. If you look into the life part of it, you can understand that the plant life, if any organism is consuming it, from the ecosystem point of view, there is a producers. So producers are going to absorb the energy of sunlight and through photosynthesis they are going to convert it into chemical energy. The chemical energy which is available is taken up by the primary consumers or herbivores. So they are plant predators. If you take herbivores as they are plant predators, and predation is required for the movement of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level. So this is called as nutrient flow. So then from the plant predators, if the animals are consuming these plants, we call them as plant predators, and in turn the plant predators are consumed by the secondary consumers, which we call them as carnivore. So or the animal predators, they feed on the herbivores. So there is a flow of energy or nutrients from one trophic level to another trophic level, and all the food that we are consuming, whether we are as a herbivore or as a carnivore, is from a living organism or product of living organisms we are consuming it. So finally you can define. So there is nothing wrong in whatever we human beings consume. We are omnivores. We are neither herbivores nor carnivores. If we were herbivores, our digestive system would have been very well developed. But neither are we completely carnivores. If we were carnivores, we would be having a well-developed canine teeth, claws, and other things meant for hunting animals. So neither we are herbivore nor a carnivore. We are omnivore. So we can take up whatever food that we prefer. So finally, I can conclude that based on our food style, we are either consuming uh, organisms with cell wall having cellulose, that is plants, organisms with cell wall having chitin, that is fungi, and organisms without cell wall, that is the animals. So our food source should be any one of these three. So that is what we have to understand about, and biology gives us an answer for all these, provided we are willing to take it up. This is one definition. Now there was another question in the discussion, whether fungi is a plant or an animal. What I could say about is fungi is neither a plant nor an animal, and that is the reason they are placed under a separate kingdom Mycota or Fungia. According to R.H. Whitaker, there are 5 kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungia or Mycota, kingdom Plantae or Metaphyta, kingdom Animalia or Metazoa. And if you are looking into the fungi kingdom, they are placed separately because they have both the features of plants and animals. The feature of a plant is they have a cell wall. So fungi has a cell wall, but the cell walls are made up of chitin, whereas a plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. Now, what are the features of an animal that is present in a fungi is having a reserve food material as glycogen, similar to an animal cell, whereas a plant has the reserve food material stored as starch. So that is the reason fungi is placed neither under kingdom Animalia nor under kingdom Plantae. They are placed under a separate kingdom Mycota. So you can consume fungi without much of guilt. So that is one aspect I would like to say. And again, as I said, it is based on us what type of food we consume. It is based on our choice. So no one can enforce whatever food style you would like to have. So that is one aspect that biology very surely talks about. Now let us go into the next myth versus reality. There is a belief that snakes can listen, snakes can hear, and they are going to dance to the tunes of the snake charmer. But that is not the case at all, because snakes are deaf and they are not able to hear any sounds. If you look into a snake charmer, you will be using this flute, and you would be moving it from one direction to another direction. The snake moves to the direction of the flute, and it is not that they are hearing the tunes of the snake charmer's flute. So that is what you have to remember about in terms of snake. And there are also a lot of myths like snakes are going to remember their enemies, and they are going to take a lot of revenge action and other things. So these are also myths that we have. Our fear of snake has made us to come to various sort of conclusions. Snakes are reptiles, just like lizards, crocodiles, and others. They are reptiles without limbs. So then remembering, they do have memory similar to that of other animals, but conscious effort to take a revenge or vengeance is ruled out, and it is more of myth. Reality isn't that. So next time you hear Avinadvesha, Nedvarsha, so please remember that their anger is short-lived, and it is based on their survival and nothing else. So snakes are also reptiles, please remember about it. And snakes don't drink milk, they are forcefully fed into it by the snake charmers and others, but generally they are carnivores. They feed on the eggs of other birds, and they also feed on small animals, rodents. So to an extent they are also the friends of farmers in eradicating the rodents and other pests that harm their crop. So remember about the snakes and the reality and myth. The next aspect that I wanted to discuss about is the sex determination in human beings. Generally, we are all under the belief that females are responsible for deciding the gender of the offspring. In many of the Indian families, you might have noticed that they generally blame the female to be responsible for giving rise to the daughters, consecutive daughters, and many times they are separated out from the families. And even today, I realize the social stigma wherein the mothers commit suicide along with the daughters, just not able to overcome the pressure from the family side to conceive a male child. So now a female is not responsible for giving birth to the daughters because they have only one type of chromosomes that is present in their egg cell, that is X chromosome. If at all anyone has to be blamed for the gender of the offspring in human beings, it has to be the male, because males produce two types of sperm cells, one of the sperm cell with X chromosome and another sperm cell with Y chromosome. So it is purely a chance as to which chromosome fuses with the X cell. So the male is having a contribution towards the offspring of the child in deciding whether it is a male or a female. So, but in a society there is a requirement of both males and females, and you cannot be biased, or you can't expect to have only a society with males or females. So that is the nature's role, and again biology helps us to be more civilized in taking the responses. So there is equal importance has to be given for males and females. Now many times even I have shouted at my parents saying that they are not my parents. So even if I shout at the top of my voice, my inheritance cannot be overcome. Each and every cell of my body has 46 chromosomes, and 23 chromosomes of them are from my mother's side and 23 chromosomes are from my father's side. So each and every cell will be having this maternal and paternal chromosomes that we have inherited from our parents. So giving priority for a male child and also deciding them to be the inheritance of their generation is completely unscientific. If you look into it, even a female has 23 chromosomes from her father's side and mother's side. The only difference is from her father's side she has inherited X chromosome, whereas a male child would have inherited the Y chromosome. So there should be no differentiation or discrimination between the male and female child. Again, the knowledge of biology helps you to be more civilized in our behavior and to treat individuals in a more humane way. Also, you learn a lot of things like flower. If you look into the definition of a flower, the scientific definition is flower is a modified vegetative shoot meant for the purpose of sexual reproduction. So flower has a role for the plant. It has reproductive organs, male and female, which we call it as stamens and pistil. Stamen is nothing but the male reproductive organ. Pistil is the female reproductive organ, which has a ovary, style and stigma. So, but we have a lot of utilization for these flowers. So, from honoring a person to giving a flower to a person to get well soon, or a proposal, we utilize the flowers. No other animal species in the plant kingdom does this. If you look into simple biology, many times it is laughable. What you can notice is there any other species in the animal kingdom which is going to propose to its mate using the reproductive organ of another species? That only happens with human beings. Next time someone is proposing giving a flower, please remember the definition of flower. Flower is a modified vegetative shoot meant for the purpose of sexual reproduction. So it is a reproductive modified shoot with reproductive organs in a plant. So next time you are giving a bouquet or honoring a person by giving a flower, so think twice. So all these are things that you learn by studying biology. There are various other things you will be learning, and you will be overcoming the myth and will be knowing the reality. Because biology is also study of science, and those students who are opting for studying biology should have develop a good observational skills. Start seeing and observing things as they are and understand it from the scientific perspective. So these are the objectives of studying biology. So I thank all the viewers for the continued support, the like and comment that you have shared with me. So continue to share the videos with people if you have benefited from it. Like and subscribe for the video and press on the bell icon to receive regular updates. If you have liked this video, so share it with your friends who would be benefited by it. Thank you. So have a good academic success. Thank you.